What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a look at a new starter deck that's gone and been revealed. By revealed, I mean it's gone and been listed over on distribution websites for the One Piece TCG. It is Starter Deck 13, it is called The Three Brothers, and it is blatantly going to be based around Sabo, Ace, and Luffy. Partly, we're literally told in the description, we'll get to that in a minute, that it's based around Sabo, Ace, and Luffy. And partly because, look, I told you guys when I started covering this game, I hadn't read or watched One Piece. I didn't really understand One Piece. I have since read the entirety of One Piece. I read the new issue that came out last Sunday. I am very much looking forward to the new issue coming out this coming Sunday. I am in on One Piece. And now when I see a starter deck called The Three Brothers, well, yeah, obviously. We know exactly what that is, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Sabo and Ace and Luffy, who are very much the Three Brothers. Cool. Jobs are good, ladies and gentlemen. Jobs are good. And yeah, I'm using a picture of this playmat because I don't know. It's a playmat featuring the Three Brothers. What do you want from me? This works quite nicely. So what have we actually got? Starter Deck 13, The Three Brothers. It is releasing on the 19th of April next year. Yes, we are 6 months out. Sorry about that. And it promises to be very, very good. Here's the description we've got. Win from your very first game with this super strong deck. This deck aims to increase the number of players by giving existing and new players the opportunity to start winning games right away. Remember, because this is for distributors, not for consumers, the phrasing is going to be a little bit different here. So, no, they're not going to be selling this to players by saying, hey, it's going to bring more players in. That's a weird way to sell to players. But obviously, to stores, they're absolutely going to sell it that way because more players means more of every product sold, which is clearly a very good thing. A Three Brothers theme and a perfect complement to OP06. The card lineup focuses on the bond between the Three Brothers, Luffy, Sabo, and Ace. Along with their allies, it has a strong synergy with Booster Pack 6. Cool. Now, this is also kind of interesting, of course, because this is not the only starter deck that has a strong synergy with OP06. Because, of course, we've already been told about starter deck 12, and actually we do have the booster pack, or the deck box artwork, however you want to phrase it, for the Japanese version of this deck. And we've been told that this is going to fit very, very nicely with the 6th booster pack released in the same month. Starter Deck 12 is listed for release on the 15th of March. OP06 is slated for release on the 15th of March, and this is coming 1 month later on the 19th of April. I've told you this before, but let me tell you again now. These dates are unofficial. They are unconfirmed. They are very likely to be true, incidentally. Most of the time, the vast majority of the time, the dates that distributors have end up being the correct dates. That is generally the way it is. But for anyone that's wondering, like OP05 in English, I heard someone telling me the other day, hey, the release date's the 8th of December. We know this. No, we don't. We have a distributor listing for OP05 in English, and yes, I'm showing you the Japanese booster pack because we don't have the English booster pack yet. And we know that it's been listed as the 8th of December for a little while now. And it is very, very, very likely to be the 8th of December. So why is it still listed as December on the official website? Easy answer, it's not 100% confirmed. Distributors need to give a date to the stores so that the stores can be planning out their stock, etc., etc. However, when it's given to the stores, it's always given as a subject to change, and they don't give us the date until it is 100% confirmed, because otherwise they then have to come around and say, oh, we've changed the date and blah, 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 and it's actually kind of annoying. Yes, December the 8th is overwhelmingly likely to be the release date of OP05. However, as it stands at the moment, it is unofficial. It has not yet been put on the website. The only thing that's official is December. And that's the same thing with all of what we're talking about today with these release dates. They are very, 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 very likely to be correct. But until they actually get put on the website, they need to be taken as very probable, but not confirmed. So we've got these two starter decks, 12 and 13, each of which is designed to work around OP06, which actually in theory tells us quite a bit about OP06. Like if the Sanji and Zoro starter deck and the Sabo, Ace and Luffy starter deck are both going to be fitting with OP06, that tells you that it's really going to be featured around those 5 characters and their allies. But here's where it gets really interesting. Comes with 3 alternate art cards out of 16 variations. Only the English version has bonus pack, which includes a random selection of 3 alternate art cards out of 16 variations. All 16 variations are cards from Starter Deck 13. All specifications of the bonus pack are holo and texture foil. Cards in bonus pack are parallel versions of Starter Deck 13. Now, this is going to get it very, very interesting for some people and very, very annoying for others. Because essentially, there are 16 different cards. Now, I don't know exactly what the deal is here. It might be that there are 17 different cards, but one is a leader, or it might actually be exactly 16. Generally speaking, there tends to be 17 unique cards per starter deck. The starter deck 12 I showed you a second ago, there are 17 unique cards in that deck. Obviously, we know there's going to be a bunch of doubles, that's how decks work, but there are 17 different unique cards in that deck. If we have a look at starter deck 11, the Uta starter deck, want to guess how many unique cards are in the Uta starter deck? It's actually 15. Yeah, I know, sorry about that. But my guess here is that there are 17 unique cards, including the leader, and there are 16 available in this pack. I don't think the leader is going to be available. So essentially, this pack will give you 3 random cards from the deck other than the leader, and all of the cards in that pack will be textured, foiled, alternate arts. That is not confirmed. But starter decks generally tend to have an odd number of cards, including a leader. So, and like I say, the starter deck 12 is 17 unique cards. So it's likely not confirmed. But it is likely here that there are going to be 17 unique cards, one of which is the leader, and the other ones not including the leader are going to be available as alternate art foil texture cards in this pack. And then, of course, you've got that question of, well, hang on a second, there are now 16 of these fancy alternate art cards to collect, and I'm getting 3 of them in my starter deck. If anybody's wondering, if you buy 5 starter decks and get no doubles, you'll still be one away from actually completing the set. So that's going to be super interesting. It's going to encourage people to buy multiple starter decks. Now, in theory, you need to buy 2 of every starter deck anyway, because a bunch of cards come as 2 ofs. So, you know, starter deck 12 with Zoro and Sanji, you're going to be buying 2 of that anyway, most competitive players at least. But now if you buy 2 of them, you'll have, assuming no doubles, 6 of the 16. But bearing in mind this is supposed to be a very playable deck, so that means that a lot of these cards are going to be very good, and these are going to be the best versions of them, and I think these promo pack cards could end up being quite silly by the end of it. And that's the other thing we need to mention here. This is specifically said to be super strong, win from your first game, giving existing and new players the opportunity to start winning games right away. It's really being sold as this deck which is better than other starter decks. That is, apparently, and it says it right there, it is going to be able to hang. It's going to be letting players win right away. The implication very much seems to be this is going to be kind of on a par with proper competitive decks. And if that's true, and that's how they're selling it, if that's true, then these cards in the deck are going to be particularly good, so these fancy alternate art textured foil versions of the cards in the deck are going to end up being very valuable because you're only getting 3 out of 16 per deck. And how many people are going to go and buy like 20 of these decks to try and get all of the cards? It's likely, and again, I'm just going off the information we've got here and extrapolating a little bit, this might not be true. But if these decks are as good as we're being told, then the cards have to be as good as well. And that means that there are going to be some ridiculously playable cards where the alternate art versions are just less than 1 per 5 decks. If there were 15, it would be exactly 1 per 5 deck on average. But obviously with 16, it's just a smidge less. But that means that these are going to get potentially very, very valuable. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. The fact that it is going to have this promo pack is big. The fact that it's supposed to be such a strong deck is big. And let's not sleep on the fact they've chosen Luffy, Sabo, and Ace. It's not a surprise that we're 5 sets in and all 3 of them have had a manga rare. Because these are very, very popular characters. And if you want to go and make a starter deck that is super playable and you really want to sell this, you know what? Taking these 3 characters, thematically they work beautifully together, but also it kind of works beautifully in terms of, people like these characters, they're going to be very popular, and in that they all fit nicely together, and we might be on to a winner. This is one to keep an eye on. This could be, and look, I told you Starter Deck 10 was the most exciting starter deck yet, and I meant it at the time, and it was true. It absolutely was the most exciting starter deck. It's got 3 leaders, it's really fun, it's got some really good cards, it comes with a deck box and all sorts. It's a phenomenal starter deck. Well, now I'm telling you that this is going to supplant it. This is going to be the most popular, exciting starter deck. And I do think I can feel pretty good about that prediction, frankly, ladies and gentlemen. This is one that we should be getting very excited about. Obviously, I can't show you any cards yet. There's a lot of missing information. I'm sorry, but as soon as I know anything better, I will be here because that's what I do. For now, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know your predictions. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.